All right, folks, for far eastern Sussex County, we now have a tornado warning that is about to move into Rehoboth Beach right now, and this includes areas like Long Neck. We've also got areas along eastern Sussex County, Herring's Landing. The rotation has passed by Holiday Pines right now. We got this tornado warning in effect right now until 8:15 p.m. And this is the only tornado warning on the peninsula right now, but it's for far eastern Sussex County, heading towards Indian Beach right now. And if we take a look at the velocity right here, this is basically telling us where the winds are blowing. And indeed, we've got red and green together. So what's this telling us? That we got winds blowing towards the radar site, the Dover radar site, and away from the radar site. This means there's rotation indicated by our radar, so we definitely want to be on alert. So again, we have this tornado warning in far eastern Sussex County. That's in effect until 8:15 p.m. And this is going to Herring's Landing, Rehoboth Beach, and Indian Beach right now. Midway as well is in the tornado warned polygon right now. So if you're within this polygon, you want to make sure you're going to be in the most interior portion of your house. You want to make sure you're in a closet as well. That's a good place to be. Or go in the bathtub inside a bathroom, because that is a secure place as well, because we don't want to take any chances with this tornado and warning, this tornado warned storm. It's not a confirmed tornado, but with this tornado warned storm in far eastern Sussex County, this includes Route 1 heading towards Dewey Beach, and basically from Bottoms Hill towards Indian Beach and Dewey Beach up towards Rehoboth Beach. You are within this tornado warned polygon, so we want to make sure that we are taking our tornado warned precautions. And right now, I actually want to take a look at the sky cam for Rehoboth Beach, and we'll see what's going on over there. And indeed, conditions are calm right now, but of course, because we have the rotation evident and we've been eyeing this all day with these rotating storms, the National Weather Service now has this tornado warned polygon. We also have a flash flood warning towards our west, but we will focus on this tornado warned polygon. We'll name a few towns. We've got Marshtown, we've got Herring's Landing, and we'll zoom in for a few other streets. So we got Oak Drive, basically anywhere around the Angola by the bay. You want to make sure you're in your tornado safe space right now, because there's rotation indicated with this storm, and we want to make sure that we're taking our tornado precautions. So again, we got this tornado warned storm. It's not a confirmed tornado, but storm is indicating rotation, so we want to make sure that we are in our safe place. And again, this goes until 8:15 p.m. And we'll name a few other locations that we want to be on guard. So, of course, we got Rehoboth Beach. You are in the tornado warning until 8:15 p.m. We got Bay Vista, Dewey Beach as well. You're in the tornado warned storm. So you want to make sure you're taking your safety precautions. We got a few other places: Midway, North Shores, anywhere within this area in Sussex County, just to the south of Midway Park as well. You are not in the tornado warned polygon. So again, tornado warning. This is for far eastern Sussex County, right around Herring's Landing, Long Neck, Holiday Pines. You may be in the clear, but we want to make sure we don't want to take any chances with this. Rehoboth Beach, we're going to check with you also sporadically with the sky cam to see what's going on. Just to the north of Bottoms Hill along Route 1, we are in the tornado warning until 8:50 p.m. We'll take a look now again at the velocity and see what's happening over there, because this is a good product to use when we are looking for rotation. Again, we are noticing that rotation. The green means the winds are going towards the radar site in Dover, and red means the winds are going away. So it seems like the center of rotation is just passing Herring's Landing right now. So again, we want to make sure we're taking our tornado precautions, and this is the only tornado warned polygon within the entire peninsula. We'll zoom out to get a broader view of what's going on. This is the only tornado warning within Sussex County and basically all of Delmarva. And indeed, it's indicating rotation within the velocity signature. So we'll go back to the radar right now again. We have this tornado warned storm that is now heading for Dewey Beach by the looks of it, Rehoboth Beach as well. We want to be on guard as well, because it looks like the center of rotation is just towards the east of Angola by the bay, and it looks like it's going to be moving towards the north and east, excuse me. So in terms of the speed for this tornado warning, it does look like that this storm is moving at about, I'd say, 15 miles per hour. So perhaps, if we can get a little timing for the storm, it looks like that maybe be at Rehoboth Beach at around 8:15 p.m. We'll get a cone here to gauge the distance on how far this is going. So 15 miles per hour. So basically, if we time this out, so Rehoboth Beach, we're talking at about 8:16 p.m. for the estimated time for that center of rotation to be approaching. Dewey Beach, an estimated time. Keep in mind, this is an estimated time. It's not exact, but this is a good idea of what we can get. So perhaps the center of circulation may be approaching Dewey Beach at around 8:12 p.m. Bay Vista at around 8:09 p.m. So again, for the next several minutes or so, around 20 minutes, we're going to be keeping an eye on this tornado warned storm. We'll start to name a few more towns again. We'll get rid of this cone. So just to give you a better idea on what the timing for that is. So we're going to zoom in. We're going to see where the center of circulation is right now. Again, this tornado warned storm, the center of circulation, it looks a little bit broad, but of course we want to be on guard for this tornado warned storm. We always want to respect this polygon. So it looks like the center of circulation is right around Herring's Landing. So winds going towards the radar and winds going away from the radar. This is the rotation that we want to be careful of because the atmosphere is very moist, so we have a lot of moisture to work with. So the tornado can condense towards the ground. So that's why we are concerned for these very isolated and sneaky tornadoes. This is a very sneaky tornado setup today. So that's why we've been keeping an eye towards the radar. We'll zoom out again. Again, the red and green shows rotation. Winds going towards the radar and winds going away from the radar. So this is where the center of rotation is, just to the north of Herring's Landing. And it looks like it's going to be heading towards Dewey Beach. We'll once again go back towards the radar. And again, we'll name a few other towns as well. So it looks like torrential rain within the downpour. We got a few streets here. We got Hunts Club. We've got Hunts Club. We've got East Lane right here as well. And this is continuing to move towards the north and east. We'll get a better view by zooming out. So Rehoboth Beach, Bay Vista, Shockley Manor, and Dewey Beach all are in the path of this tornado warned storm. So we're definitely going to be keeping our guard up. Again, the tornado safety precautions that you want to take in this situation, in case there's a tornado on the ground, we want to make sure we're in the most interior portion of our homes, perhaps inside a closet or a bathtub as well. And of course, if the situation is dire enough, a helmet would also help as well to keep your head protected from debris. But we'll see if that's going to be as bad for the situation. Until then, though, again, we want to take our safety precautions with this tornado warned storm. So we're going to zoom out right now, and we're actually going to take a live look at Rehoboth Beach on our sky cam and see what's going on with the situation right there. Again, the conditions are calm right now, but we're still going to be keeping on guard for this storm. Conditions are calm here in Rehoboth Beach, but there's certainly a lot of moisture available for these funnel clouds to condense towards the ground. That's why we're concerned with this tornado warned storm. So again, we'll zoom out and show you that there's no other tornado warned storms. It's just this cell right here. We got the flash flood warning in place towards the west, but it's really this storm right here. So we're going to zoom in a bit and just look just towards the east of this tornado warned storm, and we'll name a few places. So we got Shockley Manor, Bay Vista, Truitt's Park, again, Rehoboth Beach, and perhaps Dewey Beach as well. All those places that I named, you are towards the east of the center of rotation, which means you are in a potential risk for this tornado warned storm. So again, we want to make sure that we're taking our tornado precautions with this situation. So again, Bay Vista, Truitt's Park, Shockley Manor, even Rehoboth Beach, and down towards Dewey Beach as well, along Route 1 between Rehoboth Beach and Maryland's eastern shore. We want to make sure we're taking our precautions. So again, tornado warning, if you're just joining us right now, this tornado warned storm is in effect until 8:15 p.m. So we got another some minutes, about 15 minutes or so before this tornado warned storm is expired. And the reason why we got this tornado warning, again, I've shown this multiple times, but if you're just tuning in, we are detecting rotation with this storm heading towards Rehoboth Beach. The green here is indicating winds coming towards the radar site in Dover and the red indicates winds going away from the radar. That means we're indicating a rotation, and the center of rotation is between this couplet of green and red. And it looks like it's passing towards north of Long Neck. So again, you're still in the tornado warned polygon, Long Neck, but want to make sure we're taking our precautions with this because we always want to respect the tornado polygon. So we're going to switch over back to the radar once again. Tornado warning in effect for parts at least of far eastern Sussex County. In effect until 8:15 p.m. with this storm right here. This is we're indicating rotation with the cell. That's why we have this tornado warned storm. So it looks like it's starting to head towards the coastline right now. And because of that, we are going to zoom in and see if we can name a few more specified locations. Again, Rehoboth Beach, Shockley Manor, Truitt's Park, and down towards Dewey Beach, right along Route 11. You're in that tornado warned storm, and all these streets shown on here, we want to make sure that we're in our tornado safe spot. This includes Hickman Street, Shockley Street as well. These streets around this greater area, you want to make sure that you are in the most interior part of your house. You're perhaps inside a closet. That is a safe place to be as well, in an interior portion of your house. And perhaps inside a bathtub is a safe place as well. Somewhere where you're barricaded, and perhaps maybe grab a few pillows and blankets just to protect yourself. So we're going to zoom out again and show the tornado warned storm in view. Tornado warning in effect until 8:15 p.m. for parts of areas like Rehoboth Beach, just towards the south of Midway, and much of the the eastern portion, northeastern portion of Herring Landing, and Indian Beach as well, right along Route 1 towards the north of Bottoms Hill, towards Indian Beach and Rehoboth Beach as well. So what we're going to do actually is we're going to be going back and forth between the Skycam and Rehoboth Beach just to see what is going on. Again, conditions are quiet right now. Now, just because we have a tornado warning, that does not mean a tornado is on the ground. However, there has been enough rotation, and because we've got really low cloud bases, because the moisture, we have so much moisture in the atmosphere, those low cloud bases allow for a tornado to easily form in a very sneaky manner. That is why we don't want to take any, we don't want to risk it with this tornado warned storm. So again, it looks all calm in Rehoboth Beach right now, which is good news. We're going to switch over back to the radar, and we're going to get another better view of this tornado warned storm within the tornado polygon. So again, we do have a flash flood warning towards the west. This tornado polygon has shifted a little bit towards the east because the storm cell is moving towards the east. And once this is out here, again, this is the only tornado warned storm in the entire peninsula. So we're going to focus all of our attention on this until the tornado warning is expired. So right now, we're going to be keeping a close eye on extreme coastal locations. So again, Shockley Manor, Bay Vista, Truitt's Park, Rehoboth Beach, down towards Dewey Beach, along Route 1, you are in this tornado warned storm, a tornado warning in effect until 8:15 p.m. So again, Shockley Manor, Rehoboth Beach, anywhere along this area is the greatest concern. We'll also zoom out and take a look at a few other locations within the tornado polygon. So this is just towards the north of Rehoboth Beach. We got Hennepin Acres and North Shores as well. Those areas to the north of Rehoboth Beach, you are under the risk for this tornado warned storm as well. So as we've been talking about, if you're just joining us, make sure to take your tornado safety precautions because we don't want to mess around with the storm just in case we do have a tornado on the ground, because there is rotation being indicated with this. So this is where the tornado warned polygon is right now. The storm itself is beginning to push offshore, but we still got multiple areas that are within this tornado warned polygon. What I want to do now is I do want to zoom into the southern portion of this polygon and get a few towns named in. So again, we got Herring's Landing. We've got Route 1 just to the north of Bottoms Hill. Bottoms Hill, you are not in the tornado warning. It is to the north of Bottoms Hill that is within this tornado warned storm. So north of Bottoms Hill along Route 1 towards Indian Beach, Dewey Beach, Rehoboth Beach, you're in this tornado warning. So again, I do want to go back to the Skycam and see what's going on, and conditions still are calm out there. We're not noticing any active weather in Rehoboth Beach. It's cloudy and we've had some heavy rain as well. So that's good news on that end. Again, rotation indicated with this storm. We will check with the velocity and see if we're still indicating any rotation with this tornado warned storm. And I will say the good news is that the rotation isn't as impressive as it was just about 10 minutes ago, but it's still tight enough where we're still causing concern for this storm. Again, if you're just joining us, green means winds are going towards the radar site in Dover, and red means winds are going away from the radar site in Dover. So we still have evidence of rotation. Anywhere towards the east of this, you are under the risk of this tornado warned storm. And if you're just joining us, a tornado warning does not mean that a tornado is on the ground, but there's enough rotation where the National Weather Service has cause for concern and they have issued the tornado warning as a result. So that's why we have this tornado warned storm in place. So again, we're going to go back to the radar and start naming a few towns once again. So Dewey Beach, Rehoboth Beach, and Herring's Landing, Indian Beach as well, right along Route 1. Right, so basically just to the north of Bottoms Hill. You're not in the tornado warning Bottoms Hill, but just towards the north. So we're just going through Route 1 up towards Dewey Beach, Rehoboth Beach, Indian Beach as well. You are all within the risk of this tornado warned storm. And also a few communities just towards the west and southwest of Rehoboth Beach. So again, Shockley Manor and Bay Vista as well. You're in this tornado warning. And again, this tornado warning goes into effect until 8:15 p.m. And if you're just joining us, again, your tornado safety precautions will be the most interior portion of your house. Perhaps a closet or perhaps a bathtub in a bathroom as well. Anywhere where you can barricade yourself from potential debris. But we're not noticing anything at the very least completely active when we take a look at our Rehoboth Beach sky cam. Again, conditions are rather quiet, but we don't want to mess around with the storm. It's quiet at Rehoboth Beach right now, but we're not going to take any risks with this cell. Again, we're noticing rotation with this storm. So we're going to go back to the radar once again and check out where this tornado warned polygon is right now. Again, it has shifted towards the east, but it's still got some of our viewing area in impact. So again, we're going to zoom in. We got Herring's Landing, Dewey Beach. We've got areas like Shockley Manor, Rehoboth Beach, Bay Vista, and Dewey Beach. All of this area is under the tornado warned storm. Again, in effect until 8:15 p.m. because this storm has rotation with it that we are detecting. And again, we don't want to take any risks. Today is a very sneaky tornado setup. So any of these tornadoes can develop at a snap of a finger. So that is why we want to go ahead and take precautions with this. But as for now, we're going to be taking a look at this severe warned storm continuously until 8:15 p.m.
Hey, Eric. Just wanted to jump in here, give you a chance to just catch breath. Great job with meteorologist Eric Alf. I'm Chief Meteorologist Rich Warzik. We just got back from the Delaware State Fair, driving through this wall of water essentially coming through, and just watching what Eric is saying here. What's important to note, and we were looking at the Rehoboth Beach cam a few times that Eric was showing that there, these are rain-wrapped circulations, meaning you're not going to see this even if you were to be close to where a potential tornado would be. You wouldn't see it. Rain-wrapped circulations, I like what Eric said, it's kind of a sneaky day as far as the threat for a tornado. This is a good example of it right here. What you're seeing is basically where that area of rotation is that Eric has been tracking over the past 15 to 20 minutes, and it's just gray skies at that point. And we have to use the radar really to get into where that circulation is. But one thing I'm noticing, and I think, Eric, you were starting to bring it up there a little bit too, with the previous storms that were coming through, you could see that the circulation has broadened a little bit. Yep. And starting to weaken, so it's good to see that. But that polygon there indicating the direction that it is going in Dewey Beach, Route 1, as Eric has mentioned, that I noticed with these the bottoms of these storms when we were driving through there, the bottom area, the base, if you will, very close to the ground. There's a lot of low-level moisture, making it almost impossible to see this. And outside of that tornado warning, there's also looks like a flash flood warning that has been extended there back into western Sussex. So taking a look at that, that's actually what we just drove through there. Coming back from the Delaware State Fair on Route 13 through Laurel, that rain was torrential. It was almost impossible to drive. Right.
Training in the same spot. That's why we've got some flooding concerns. And this is for many parts of Sussex County, flash flood warning until 12:45 a.m. because we weren't expecting a high ceiling with the severe weather today. Of course, we have the tornado warning storm because of the rotation, but a big concern has certainly been with these trading storms. That's been a cause for flash flooding as well. With these trading storms, it's all along a warm front, and when you get these warm fronts, you get a rapid change of wind direction, which causes that twist in the atmosphere, but you also get moisture riding along this warm frontal boundary, and that's why we got so much rain today, just trailing along the same locations. But again, we do want to stick with this tornado warning storm. Luckily, as we've been mentioning with the velocity scans, the rotation isn't as tight as what it once was before, which is certainly good news, which means the ceiling has become a little bit lower in terms of the severity with this, but we still want to respect this tornado polygon. It goes into effect, this tornado warning, until 8:15 p.m. And if you're just joining us, this is far eastern Sussex County. We have this tornado warning that doesn't go into effect for much longer. It will expire at 8:15 p.m. So we'll stay with it for about 5 minutes, and I don't think we're going to get a reissue of this tornado
actually
warning.
Just to throw in there, just as you were saying that, Eric, not expecting the reissue, they've actually allowed it to expire or set to expire at 8:15, but they are allowing this to basically be a canceled event as that circulation has broadened. Indeed. And eventually it'll be going out into the ocean.
Indeed,
here.
Circulation does not look impressive anymore, which is good news. And just as Rich said, it looks like we should be seeing this tornado warning polygon disappear on our system momentarily, as Rich has said. The tornado warning looks like it has expired. So we will wait for this polygon to basically disappear, and hopefully we should be good to go. But I do want to turn our attention now, by the looks of it, towards the west. Once again, we got this flash flood warning because we weren't expecting high ceiling with the severe weather today as we expected, but with trailing rain, flash flooding has certainly been a concern. And again, we've got this flash flood warning in effect until 12:45 a.m., which the National Weather Service is indicating 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches of rain rates per hour. So you're talking about a little over an inch of rain in just an hour. Some of those rainfall rates, certainly because we got such a tropical air mass in place. That's why we got such heavy downpours today. So once again, as Rich has said, it looks like the National Weather Service has decided to cancel this tornado warning. Once again, we will look at the velocity scan, and it is not looking impressive at all. In fact, there's barely any green and red together. What does this mean? It means that the rotation is not tight anymore. The rotation is broadening. So again, the threat has certainly lowered for this tornado warning storm. But again, the tornado warning goes into effect until 8:50 p.m. until this warning expires at around 8:50 p.m. But again, green indicates winds going towards the radar site of Dover, and red indicates winds going away from the radar site, and we just are not seeing that. So that is good news. The rotation has broadened, and it's not really all that tight anymore. Very good news on that end.
Why don't you go ahead, and while we're here, since we only have a few minutes left on that warning, why don't you go down to Frankfurt there, Eric, and we'll zoom into that area just south of Millsboro. Just go a little farther south there. Yeah, right down there near Dagsboro. It looks like a couplet is trying to form there. I just noticed that in the last couple scans.
We've had a multiple of these couplets, by the way, that we've been monitoring very closely. So this isn't a tornado warning storm. Little bit.
Right, there is that potential that we could get that spin up there. I'm just listening here. I thought we were getting still trying to get some information if we're getting anything out of the newsroom, and so far I haven't heard anything, any reports of damage. But just wanted to point that out because these are the little circulations that Eric has been keeping an eye, you've been keeping an eye on all afternoon, and what we're going to continue to keep an eye on as we go into the evening, that sneaky tornado threat. It's
a very sneaky setup today.
Right,
yep.
And that's one we're going to be watching there just south of Dagsboro. I say this because as this initial warning expires, we're going to go back off air, but I wanted to point that out for those who live in the Dagsboro area and then back over toward Long Neck. Some of these same areas there out toward the Delaware Beaches, Route 1. We've got another storm coming through that we're going to have to keep an eye on. It looks like Route 26 there, where it links up with Route 17, and then you see back toward the Ocean View area, and that's the initial polygon there that Eric is taking a look at.
If you're just joining us, we have this tornado warning storm. It doesn't mean a tornado's on the ground, but there's rotation with this storm to warrant an issue from the National Weather Service, this tornado warning. But again, we're noticing this cell starting to weaken, and this warning does expire in actually 1 minute. So we should be in the clear. I'm going to go to the Rehoboth Beach Sky Cam to see what's going on over there. As we've been looking at the Rehoboth Beach Sky Cam, we have not been noticing anything particularly active. The winds have been very calm. And again, the winds are very calm. It's just foggy and rainy out there, and we're not noticing any particularly active weather here in Rehoboth Beach. Again, very good news on that end, but we still got the heavy rain to deal with. And once this tornado warning expires, we're still going to be keeping an eye over the course of this evening for these individual cells that want to try and rotate. That's what we've been keeping an eye on all evening. If you were with us for the news hour, we mentioned the potential for an isolated tornado this evening. And we certainly do have a storm that warranted a tornado warning from the National Weather Service, which does expire in 1 minute. And I don't think we're going to get a reissuance of that tornado warning as that cell continues to move out. But we do have this flash flood warning. Training storms. Okay, and there we go. The tornado warning has expired in Sussex County, which is very good news. And as of right now, we're going to zoom out. We have no other tornado warnings across the entire peninsula. All we have is this flash flood warning due to heavy training storms. So again, that's still a serious threat. You want to make sure you don't drive into flooded roadways. But of course, our concern was the tornado warning as we went on air. And again, the warning has expired by the looks of it, Rich.
Yes, it does. Some good news with that. And we're going to keep an eye on this. Those of you watching here, I know that we're cutting in and kind of interrupting programming here for a little bit for these tornado warnings, this one particular warning. We're going to keep an eye on these storms because another one pops up. We're going to have to come back on air.
Yep.
But good job with meteorologist Eric Alf keeping a track on that storm and keeping an eye on the situation here as those heavy rain bands that will be moving through the southern Sussex County area here. You see where that flash flood warning is in effect. But for now, we're going to send it back to programming. We'll keep an eye on it and cut back in if there is another warning issued.